The only thing they noticed was the squeaky wheel. Not the man behind it. Not the mop in his hand. Not the navy blue jumpsuit with the stitched name Eli on the chest. Just the sharp squeal of worn plastic wheels rolling across the pristine marble floor of the Sterling Monarch, a five-star hotel in the heart of downtown Atlanta. The Monarch catered to senators, superstars, and executives with black cards. And yet, none of them noticed the janitor pushing the cart down the corridor that morning. Elijah King kept his gaze low, his pace steady. He passed the sparkling glass walls of the lobby bar, where designer-suited guests sipped $80 cocktails and made deals worth millions over foie gras sliders. A security guard gave him half a glance, then looked away. The front desk clerk didn't even blink. That was exactly what Elijah needed. Invisibility had become his armor point 3 weeks earlier. Elijah had walked through the Monarch's gilded entrance in a $1,000 bespoke suit. He'd watched a young black couple be denied check-in over a supposed missing confirmation, even as a white social media personality with no ID was upgraded to the presidential suite. No explanation. No apology. He hadn't said a word. That day, Elijah, whose net worth stood at $4.3 billion, decided the problem was deeper than policy. Owner of multiple tech infrastructure companies and a growing portfolio of real estate and luxury hotels, Elijah had quietly acquired the Monarch just months prior. When complaints of racial profiling, dismissive service, and unethical behavior reached his desk, he didn't send an HR rep. He shaved his beard, swapped his Cartier watch for a $20 Timex, and walked through the service entrance pushing a mop. For 12 days, Elijah scrubbed, swept, and observed. He took notes, captured footage with a discreet camera hidden in the collar of his uniform. Each passing day peeled away the glossy veneer the hotel projected. The deeper he went, the uglier it got. That morning, as Elijah passed the front desk, he saw Kyle, the smirking shift supervisor, leaning against the marble counter, scrolling through Instagram while two guests waited. One was a black woman in a plain black dress, dragging a modest suitcase. The other, a white man with neon ski sunglasses hanging from his polo shirt. Kyle called the man up first. Elijah paused just long enough to memorize the scene. Then he moved on toward the base of the grand staircase, where valets exchanged jokes in hushed tones. "Yo, janitor's back," one of them chuckled. "Must have missed his bucket slot." The group laughed. Elijah didn't flinch, but he remembered their names, their faces. One day soon, they would remember his in contrast. Luis, the bellhop from Colombia, gave Elijah a respectful nod. Elijah returned it. Luis had once given a bottle of water to a homeless woman outside the hotel. No one else had even seen her on the 9th floor. Elijah arrived at room 9114 to check a supposed plumbing issue. But his real purpose was to inspect housekeeping. Were standards being upheld? Were corners cut? Outside room 9102, Elijah overheard a guest and an employee arguing. "No, ma'am," a frustrated voice said. "Early checkout still incurs a full-day charge." "That's not what the website said." "That's not my problem." He kept walking. Room 9114's door was ajar. Inside, a supervisor named Denise stood over a younger housekeeper. "You call that folded? This ain't summer camp." "Sorry, Ms. Denise. I thought, you're not paid to think, Mara. You're paid to make this place look like money." Elijah's presence startled them. Denise sneered. "What are you doing here? This floor's been cleared. Got a call about a sink. Then fix it and don't get in our way." The room looked clean at first glance, but the sheets hadn't been changed. Lipstick on the pillowcase. A takeout receipt under the bed. The minibar restocked without sanitization. Elijah took discreet photos, then turned to leave. Just as he stepped into the hallway, a woman rounded the corner and nearly bumped into him. "Oh, sorry," she said, breathless. She had deep brown skin, tightly curled hair pulled back into a bun, clear glasses, and weary eyes. A gray hoodie with a nonprofit logo peeked from beneath her coat. "Room 917, she said. "I think I'm lost." "Elevator's that way." Elijah nodded. She paused. "You work here, right?" He nodded again. Do they treat everyone like this? Or is it just me? He tilted his head. What happened? She exhaled sharply. They lost my reservation, then doubled my charge. And when I asked for an iron, the front desk guy told me to pack wrinkle-free. Elijah felt his chest tighten. What's your name? Maya. Maya Reynolds. I'm here from DC for a non-profit gala. I just wanted one night of peace. You didn't deserve that. Her smile was tired, but real. Thanks. That means more than you know. She disappeared down the hallway. Elijah stood still. Denise's voice echoed in his head. Kyle's laugh. Maya's pained that he pulled out his phone. Camila, he said, start compiling everything. I want logs, reports, footage. This isn't for legal. It's for justice. That evening, Elijah sat in a converted utility room filled with screens. Footage of employees mocking guests, covering up mistakes, and worse, at 10:42 p.m., he paused on a clip. Maya, alone in the break room. Carl, the security chief, approached her with a beer in hand. He leaned too close. She stood. He grabbed her wrist. Not violent, but invasive, Elijah froze the frame. Camila, he whispered, move the date up. We're going full burn. The next morning, Elijah entered early, passing by the break room. Kyle, Denise, and Carl laughed over stale coffee. She really thinks she's someone special, Denise sneered. Acting like charity work gives her a crown. Kyle snorted. Nah, Carl muttered. She thinks being black makes her bulletproof. Elijah's hand tightened around the mop. Later, he passed Maria, a longtime housekeeper with tired eyes and calloused hands. Maria, he whispered, got 5 minutes. Depends who's asking. Someone who's been watching. Come find me after lunch, she replied. That afternoon, Kyle denied an early check-in to an older black couple. Policy says no, he barked. But we called ahead. The wife pleaded. Elijah stepped behind the desk. Room 1502 is open. Kyle glared. Stay in your lane, Eli. Elijah swiped a MasterCard and handed the couple their keys. Enjoy your stay, he said. Kyle was fuming. What's going on? I'll explain, Elijah said. Just nod to you. Later, Maria met him in the laundry room. She handed him an envelope of emails, complaints, and photos HR had buried. That night, Elijah called a meeting in the storage room with night staff. He handed out manila folders. Each contained a formal invitation to a mandatory meeting. On the letterhead, Elijah T. King, CEO. Gasps. Then silence. You're him, someone whispered. Why clean floors? Because I had to see who was holding this place together and who was tearing it apart. The next day at noon, the hotel ballroom filled with staff. Denise strutted in wearing pearls. Kyle wore his usual smug smirk. Maya sat near the front, hands clasped. Behind a curtain, Elijah stood in a fitted black suit. Camila tapped his arm. It's time. The hotel manager gave a short intro. Then Camila stepped up. This isn't about us, she said. It's about what happens when silence becomes culture. Then Elijah stepped onto the stage. Gasps rippled through the room. Good afternoon. My name is Elijah King. I own this hotel. For 4 weeks, I worked as your janitor. I watched, I listened. And what I saw needs to be seen by all of you. Camila tapped her tablet. Video played. Kyle sneering at guests. Denise mocking a woman in a wheelchair. Carl laughing at Maya. This isn't about mistakes, Elijah said. It's about cruelty becoming routine. That ends now. Denise jumped up. This is illegal surveillance. You signed a privacy update 6 months ago, Camila replied. You just didn't read it. You can't. You ignored guest needs. Mocked your team. Buried reports. You're fired. Kyle stood. I didn't know. You knew, Elijah snapped. You just didn't care. And now you're done. He turned to the room. To those of you who've worked hard with dignity, you are the future. Camila handed out envelopes. Inside, promotions, raises, and a new bill of staff rights. This hotel bears my name, Elijah said, and now it will stand for something. The ballroom fell into stunned silence. Then came applause. Hope. Real hope that in the days that followed. Denise was escorted out, speechless. Kyle shoved through the exit, red-faced. The sterling monarch breathed again. 1 week later, Elijah stood in the newly renovated staff lounge. Maria trained new hires. Jordan wore a supervisor name tag. Ava had returned as director of culture. A plaque now hung near the lobby. This hotel belongs to those who work, serve, and care. Titles fade. Dignity remains. A reporter asked Elijah at a press event, "Is this just for the monarch or something bigger?" He smiled. "I hope it spreads like fire through every place that ever told someone they weren't enough." That night, Elijah returned to the janitor closet one last time. He leaned the mop against the wall. "Thank you," he whispered, "because justice doesn't wear a suit. It wears courage," and now everyone was watching.